We have any visitors signed up tonight? Reading of the minutes, April 2nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from April 2nd, the meeting on April 2nd. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. General fund warrant number 1605.
I have a question before we go
Yeah, go ahead.
to vote. I've been watching this for several months and
Talking to the,
I'm just baffled by all this money we're having to pay back for,
Yep.
taxes.
Looked at it too.
Why are we still doing that?
If
Can
I
anybody
could,
answer
if
that?
I could explain, the employer withholds the money from all employees. If those employees are working in the city of Jeffersontown, they owe the tax. It's paid into the fund by the employer. If at the end of the year, the employee proves to the city that that employee was not working in the city at specific times, they are entitled both under the ordinance and the statute that promulgated the ordinance to get that money back. That's why we're getting these refunds.
But doesn't the employer know that these people aren't working in their building? Why do they keep taking the,
They set it up that way and they're required on any employee they have to collect the money from them. That's what the employer is required to do. The employee has a right to come to the city and say, wait a minute, on these particular days, I didn't work in the city. We have a form, they then have to go back to the employer and the employer has to certify that they didn't work in the city on those days. Now, there are some audit principles set forth in the ordinance where we could go in and audit some of these companies. Again, it's a manpower issue, but you're right. There's a whole lot of them and there were quite a few during COVID. And I think a lot of people caught on during COVID. Hey, I'm not working in the city of Jeffersontown. I live, in Fern Creek or something. And that's why we're getting such a plethora of these things now.
but it's really kind of costing us money in the long run, having to take the manpower to see to it that these checks are written and these people are paid back. I was just wondering if there's any other alternative around that.
Does this happen every year?
It's happened
ever since COVID.
I can say for the last
So we're gonna
43
ask-
years it's happened.
Do we want an ad hoc committee on that?
Yeah, I think we should.
We've had people ask for refunds ever since I've been here 13 years.
It's always happened.
So it
Oh.
happens all the time.
Mhm.
It's just people did not know
Know about it.
Because it seems like a lot. Like there is a lot.
I
asked you about it a couple weeks ago, remember?
There is a lot,
I
but,
mean-
but people did not know they could ask for a refund.
That's good now.
So I thought it was only two, but if
Oh,
it's three, then that's the rule. But it's happened all the time. Some like Papa John's knew their senior management knew they didn't have to pay. And they didn't. They asked for a refund every year since I've been here, the senior management, but they're not here anymore. So the people that are here all the time in the building. But that's one of the things we gotta worry about is if people continue to stay from home, we're not gonna get that revenue. We're gonna collect it and then we're gonna have to pay it back.
Yep.
Individuals. But the one good thing is we get to hold it until they ask for it in a year, so we do earn a little bit of interest on that money.
Invested
So that's
wisely.
about the only plus.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a first on general fund warrant? Where were we at?
We haven't made the motion
Yeah,
yet.
we don't think we have a motion yet.
Motion.
Have a second?
I think we need it first.
I'll make
Does
a
somebody-
motion to approve general fund warrant number 1605 is distributed.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Road fund warrant number 992.
I make a motion to approve road front warrant 992 as distributed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First reading of resolution number 777, series 2024.
I'll make a motion for reading by title only of resolution 777, series 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to extend the service agreement 3 years with Cherry Baker LLP, who purchased MCM CPAs and advisors in November 2024 for city audits. I'll defer to Mr. Fox on this. I believe that this is a company that's taken over the auditing.
Yes, we used to have MCM as our auditors as of last year. Same company, sorry, I didn't turn on my mic. The same company, they just got bought out by Cherry Becker or whatever, however you pronounce their name. They are one of the largest CPA firms that do governmental work in the state of Kentucky. And they're probably one of the only few that do it in the state of Kentucky. The last time we bid it out 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we got a company from Tennessee, and MCM were the only two that bid. We decided to stick with MCM. Being a bigger company, we can keep them longer because they can change their partners in and out, so they don't get familiarity with us. So we get different partners every year. So it keeps us on our toes and make sure that they can do all the work. And they come in on the first week of October and they're done. You get your report the first week of December.
One question, that was November of 2023 that they purchased it, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
It was after our audit,
We've
because our
got it.
audit last year had.
We have a typo on the title, so I'll change that right now to 2023.
Oh, sorry about that.
That being a resolution, Madam Mayor, you may entertain a motion for passage.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. First reading of ordinance number 1451, series 2024.
I'll make a motion for first reading of ordinance number 1451, series 2024 by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
An ordinance relating to amendment of ordinance number 1415, series 2021, relating to the land development code for the city of Jeffersontown, creating section 4.3.24 of the Jeffersontown Land Development Code, the LDC, regarding smoking retail stores and electronic smoking device products, Louisville Metro Planning Commission case number 20-LDC-0003 as amended. And by way of summary, we have had a proliferation of vaping and smoking stores throughout the city, and we're anticipating considerably more, what with the advent in January of this coming year, having medical marijuana become legal. And consequently, the city needs to establish guidelines where these places may be situated. And that's what this ordinance is striving to do. And Matt, Steve, anybody that has anything further to say on it, I'll be happy to include in my summary.
Anybody have a question?
The only question I've got, and I maybe not be looking at it right, I printed it out. I see like the distance, for childcare, elementary schools, playgrounds. Is there anything there like for residential areas? Or does that fit under something else? Maybe the zoning of the property.
That's the zonings that we've
Zoning of the
removed it
property.
from.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing in there about setbacks from residential properties, but I think what the big issue was with these setbacks was they really wanted to protect children.
That makes sense, yeah.
And it's kind of hard you almost exclude everywhere in the city if you exclude
That's a good point.
areas near residential, because almost every shopping center backs up to a residential property.
Right.
That's a good point, Steve, thanks. That makes sense.
Nothing further on that, Mayor.
I thought we were gonna,
I was going to do it later, but at this point, I would ask the city council if you could do it, if it would be your pleasure to recess this meeting later to a date tomorrow, the next day. So the quicker we can get this enforced, the better, rather than wait the 3 weeks until the next meeting.
Chris, should we wait to do that at the end, or
Yeah, let's do that at the end.
instead of doing the adjourn, just do the recess at that time?
Just don't adjourn before we do that.
Yeah. No,
anybody adjourn?
no, we're good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Committee reports. Kevin?
Mayor, only thing I've got, last Thursday, myself and, Tim, along with you and Matt got to go to a Creating Vibrant Communities meeting, with, different, people from the State Highway Department, local business owners, the Chamber of Commerce. To me, it was very informative getting to listen to the business owners of the restaurants and places we have that are in downtown, even extending up to the Papa John's area on Taylorsville, and just on some things that we're looking at with undeveloped land in these areas that's in the historic district and surrounding areas of how it would affect them. And I thought a lot of good ideas came from it. I know a lot of it's down the road, but Tim may have a little more to add on, but I thought it was a very informative, meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you for attending that.
It was very informative.
Vince?
Public Works has no,
No report?
no report.
Pam Hickey?
Debbie, do you have anything? I know there's a lot coming up. Next weekend, we have, the farmer's market, the trolley hop, and that's also when they do the dog chipping.
chipping.
So it's gonna be a busy
Oh.
weekend.
That's a busy week.
And that's all I have.
It's a busy weekend, yeah.
Wow, okay.
That's a lot.
Anything else, Pam?
No, that's all.
Pam Ware?
The only thing I have, and it's a mouthful, Happy National Public Safety Telecommunicator Week. To all the dispatchers, all the good work they do. They don't get recognized,
Hard job.
that's for sure. And, that's all I have unless you have anything, Chief.
Mark Bloom?
Couple things. First, nothing from finance. We did have an ad hoc property maintenance code and land development code committee meeting before this council meeting. We recessed it until there was no recommendation for the council at this time, but we recessed to May 6th at 4 p.m. Also, the solid waste and recycling and yard waste ad hoc committee meeting met, and we evaluated the negotiation that we undertook as part of resolution number 775 series 2024 regarding the contract for the solid waste and recycling services. And we did unanimously recommend to the full city council to authorize our city attorney to draft an agreement encompassing the fees, which was passed out in Exhibit A here for the council. And so we're excited to have this next step, and that'll be before the next meeting. Is that right, Fred?
Council
Did we
meeting,
get to
yes.
vote on that tonight?
It'll be at the next council meeting.
Anybody have questions on that?
Can you get a motion to authorize me to do that?
Yeah, and I'd like
Second.
that motion seconded by Tim.
Seconded.
Sat in a lot of meetings about
Favor?
trash these last 2 weeks.
Motion?
Yeah, I got the
We did the
motion and
best
Tim
we
seconded.
could.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed? Motion carried.
Great. And then the last thing I have is I went to the Louisville Orchestra event that we had here in town, and it was great. Everyone who was part of that did a great job, and it was a packed house, Mayor. And so
I knew that it was. I came up
It's
there,
awesome.
but I didn't come in. But let me tell you that we've had two right close in a row here. And the only reason why we have, because they had some funding. We normally don't have them that close together. So I didn't want anybody to think we're doing it all the time, because we don't. But anyway, that was good.
wonderful event. So thank you.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
People love that. They do. Allison,
Legislative has no reports.
thank you. Tim Hall?
No, Kevin Carmen brought up some good points there. One of the things that, really hit home, and we heard it from 2 or 3 different people, Kevin and I at that meeting the other day, was the concern of thinking of public parking and access to the restaurants or to crossing the streets. As I think you brought up before, actually it was Major Tory Walker. Sorry, it wasn't you. How fast people come down Taylorsville Road through the heart of downtown. They're used to going 45, 50 miles an hour. Then, coming this way now, after rush hour, there's not as many people, as many cars. So they're flying through this way. People are really concerned about getting from public parking across the street. And I know Matt was there and kind of heard some stuff, with streetscape that we were thinking about. I brought up a while back down here by the beach, but the one that was brought up was the public parking near El Nopal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crossing over.
Diner.
We have the street light here, but nobody goes to the street light. They all cross right at the hardware store
Yeah.
to get across to the diner. Now, if the diner decides to start opening late, people having a few drinks, having a late night dinner, crossing over, there's going to be more foot traffic. So we were kind of should probably go to the safety committee if you need some input, but just kind of putting some kind of crosswalk there or something was a big hit at that meeting.
And just to kind of expand on that, Monday morning, we're having our kickoff with some of the internal stakeholders, some of the key technical people, if you will. Remember, we execute that contract, we got that small grant from KIPTA to look at the downtown parking and transportation infrastructure needs for the downtown. So that kind of kicks off Monday morning with more of the internal staff, police department, public works, and then some of the other area stakeholders. So we're looking at those issues and trying to figure out if they make sense and how we may pursue them. As well as some of the parking, if you looked around some of our parking lots that we either own or we have leases for, you'll see the new parking sign going up, the public parking sign. It's a 30-inch oval to really start to identify where those public parking lots are. And we did develop a nice map and QR codes too that's available on our website. So I'm circulating them with the downtown businesses that they can put all that on all their literature too to help, identify where all those public parking opportunities are.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Matt.
Then we brought it up at the right time if you're all meeting Monday. Pedestrian safety.
Yeah.
Secondly, I just wanted to thank Steve Rusi and really Ron. I came with a concern for too many residents in a house. That afternoon, or the next day they were out there. They reported back to me. They had already talked to the property management company, so I appreciate your quick response in the code enforcement world. I think it's going to be brought up later, but thank you to the police department. I'll leave it there. And if you want, unless one of you all wants to tell the story of kind of why we're enforcing this vape. Nobody wants to talk about it?
No comment.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't know. I'm asking, are you going to present something
ahead,
later or
Chief.
would you like me to keep that?
Yeah, come on.
It is an active case, so I can't say too much about it, but, we're getting a lot of complaints throughout the city about these vape shops. Some of the things they're selling there are not as advertised. And I just got back from Atlanta and heard a lecture on vaping, and it's really pretty scary. Some of these kids in school are getting hold of these vape cartridges. They're sold as one thing. They don't really know what's in them. We had 2 overdose deaths last week. A mother and father of a 3-month-old that were found dead on Barclay. So it is a problem, something we're addressing. I'm not saying that was a vaping issue, but we've got a number of complaints. We met with the Commonwealth Attorney today, and we're not going to let it happen here in J-Town.
I
The
don't
one
want it.
place we did a search warrant on up there next to, not that I go to the donut shop a lot, but we did a search warrant on them. They were selling raw marijuana material. They were selling vapes that were illegal. We took somebody from Frankfurt with us, and they said, "Thank you, J-Town, for addressing this," because nobody else is. So we're going to continue to aggressively enforce it. We're not going to allow them to do illegal things. What happens in January where we have medical marijuana? We don't make the law. We just enforce it. And that's going to be one we're going to have to keep a close eye on because, I'm not saying medical marijuana is not a good thing, but how do you regulate that? Everybody in J-Town is going to be suffering from something.
Yeah.
And if we have these vape shops that are selling material outside the law, then we have to control that. So we're going to continue to do that. We got some publicity a few weeks ago because we had a guy out on Poplar Level Road that was distributing vape products all throughout J-Town. We arrested him, seized all of his stuff. The search warrant we did last week is going to result in some significant activity at the courthouse. We've gotten the thumbs up from the Commonwealth's attorney saying, keep doing it. Nobody else is. We're not going to allow it. So just buyers beware.
Thank you. I am
Thank you, Chief.
glad you're
you,
enforcing
Chief.
that, Chief. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for the update. That's all, Mayor.
Okay. Trina?
Administrative has nothing.
Couple things. What about any of my directors? Jimmy, you got anything? Debbie? No? Steve? Matt? Chief? Major Mills? Thank you all. As you well know, today was the Business Blast. It was, I thought was a very big success. There was a lot of people there, a lot of people who have businesses in J-Town. I thank them for doing the business there. It seems to be growing every year, and Dina and the chamber did a good job on that. And I want to thank everybody that came to that today. We got a lot going on downtown J-Town. I'm hearing a lot of, I guess, fibberish or whatever you call it about the trolley hop. People are excited, guys. This whole town is excited about that next Friday night. So we'll see, or whatever night it is. So anyway, other than that, we still have a lot going on in economic development. Some things that I'm not allowed to say right now, but I'm hoping in the next couple, I would say no more than 2 weeks, wouldn't you, Fred?
Yes, ma'am.
That I hope to come up here. If I bring up a syringe up here with a shot, everybody's going to get one in the arm because I'm so excited about what maybe could take place after tomorrow. I'm excited about it.
Talk about COVID.
So yeah, you're not going to overdose. Just on drug. I mean, it would be nice.
No, this is not good. No, it's-
So can you?
thought she
With
was
I was hoping
Texas.
it was a Jello shot or something.
Yeah.
Like
No, a shot in the arm for what we need
Yeah.
in the city of Jeffersontown.
I
It
don't
would be
know.
a real big shot in the arm.
Vaccinations and
concerned
stuff.
down
you know.
Yeah, you
Different
know better
words.
than that for me.
Mayor, can I have the mic back for 1 second? I do want to.
Yeah.
Point you out for something. We keep on hearing how Mayor Pike is all about economic development. I'm economic development chair and I've been in a lot of meetings hearing what's going on. But today, even today, there were 2 property management company people that did the business expo that presented, Trio and CBRE.
Mhm.
It wasn't of course, she's sitting at the table with them, but it wasn't 2 minutes after the presentation. She had both of them in front of the stage, preaching to both of them for about 20 minutes.
I did.
Basically,
We need
just
you
saying,
here.
"Bring
I don't need you
here."
in Louisville.
So-
I need you here. And that's what I told him up there, you know?
She got
So-
2 big property management companies. CBRE, of course, is national, and you were taking advantage of it.
Got to strike while the anvil's hot. Is that what they say? Or something. But anyway, we're on it.
It's all at firsthand.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Tim, for that. Anybody else have anything? No?
Just a
So with this-
reminder, do you have at least 5 people, hopefully 6 for tomorrow? Or
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Marksman.
Okay. So we know we're going to,
So go ahead and set it for tomorrow at the time.
whatever
at
time y'all have
4:45.
agreed
And we
on.
make a motion to recess this meeting until tomorrow at 4:45 PM.
Sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Sounds good.
Meeting is recessed until tomorrow afternoon at 4:45 PM. Okay, on April 16th. Would that be April 16th?
17.
It's April 17th.
that you're gonna have to buy.
Right.
Okay,
You're gonna
Right.
buy something you can't eat.
that is it. Thank you all for coming. I knew it'd be a fast meeting, not the fastest we've ever had, but
Dinner or cake? Ooh. How old is she?
31. Marvin's.